What's up? Welcome back to Opposites.
What the fuck are you doing?
Welcome back to Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, and I'm sitting here next to
Miguel Ramirez. Oh my God! Should we start this one again?
No, that was fun. I was waiting for that.
You had that planned out?
I needed to get that off my chest.
Oh, you got something on your chest?
I got something on my chest and I can't breathe.
So is this the giggle cast? We're going to giggle through the whole thing?
Yes. I'm learning some things.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to, man. This week was holy, like a shitstorm. Monday was a shitstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so all up in my head. You know, I thought, no, I totally was. You know, everything was coming at me from the right to the left, and kids were getting out of school. I had these two businesses I was running. I had calls to make. I had the house to clean, dinner, all of it. And so at 5 o'clock Monday morning,
yeah,
I was about to give in, and just quit.
I remember you calling me when I was at work, and you were saying that you were going to lay down and watch TV.
And I know that a lot of us go through this. A lot of us go through this. And I realized that what I do when I feel that way is that I totally shut off. Like I just completely shut down and
like,
I run.
I'm done.
Yeah. Like I don't even know where to go. I don't know. I'm so off focus. I'm so unbalanced. And I was really in my head, like all up in my head.
Yeah.
And I was going to just call it quits for the day. I was going to call it quits.
Watch TV, get some ice cream.
No, totally. Because that's how I numb myself. And so for those of you that are listening that go through days like this, because I know you do. I mean, we all do.
Yeah.
We just don't like to talk about these things. We don't like to, we keep it to ourselves. And anyways, so when I realized what was going on.
Damn, we're jumping right into this.
My to-go thing?
Is TV.
No. Well, usually it is TV because that's how I numb myself. Uh-huh. TV and carbs. And I think we have that in common.
Yeah.
But something inside of me was like, you can't. No. I had an appointment that day with a huge contact. And I was about just to call her up and say, you know what? And give some kind of excuse.
Yeah. Reschedule it.
I was going to reschedule it.
Yeah.
And I had some other things that I had to do, the pop buys for Trust Inc. And I was going to cancel it all off because I can. When you run a business, nobody's looking over your shoulder. Nobody's holding you accountable. You could do whatever it is that you feel like doing.
Want to do. You're the boss.
Right. And that's something that I realized when I started looking, reading through my journal. That's something that I did often was just check out. And so I decided that, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Something's going on. And I started reading my Bible.
Yeah.
I started reading my Bible. I started journaling. And then I realized that I got out of my routine. Because my routine every morning is to do me time, meditating, prayer, journaling, affirmations, and then I'll get to my to-do list. But I got off track because of everything that was going on. And I stopped doing the Miracle Morning. And that's a book for those of you that are not familiar with that. One of my friends introduced that to me.
Yeah.
And that's what's been, it's saved me from getting into my head. But needless to say, everyone, I got myself out of that. I reached out to a friend who owns a business, who's, constantly out and about. And he was able to get me on the right track after journaling, meditating. And I realized that I can't go without my routine, that I have to continue doing what I'm doing in order to stay on track.
Yeah, you were doing your routine for a while.
Yeah.
That was something that, I remember every day. As soon as I left for work, it seemed like you were, going to get started.
Yeah, but it was me time.
Reading,
it was,
yeah. Yeah, before the kids wake up, before anything else happens.
But you know what I started doing?
What's that?
Facebook. I stopped reaching for my phone first thing in the morning.
Because you're working on this, on the podcast.
Yeah. and it's got me more, involved with social media. And
it's draining.
It gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
Like it totally gives me anxiety. So I have to schedule a time to where I can do my social media marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's something that we need to find balance with, especially with this. Like, I mean, with your business and with the new podcast, like social media is something that is just part of it. Like you have to do it. But like, I don't know. I you know me, like I don't enjoy so much the social, like it's cool, but like feeling like you have to respond, feeling like you have to do this. And I don't know, it's exhausting sometimes.
Yeah, it can become overwhelming.
But
very
at the same time, it's a big part of business, of growing something. You have to do it.
But I disconnected from it.
And you're really good at it too.
That was something with the podcast that I reconnected, and it started to give me anxiety, and then I wasn't doing the me time, so it got me off track and off balance. But needless to say, that was one of the biggest challenges that I accomplished throughout the week, or for the week, because I actually did.
When you felt overwhelmed, what did you do?
I started praying.
You said you called your friend.
Well, I started praying first.
Okay.
Because I text him, I'm like, I'm going nuts. I need help. And in the Bible, in Proverbs, it states that I just started reading some verses that help me out with, it states that people can talk the talk, but if they're not walking the walk, what good is it? So I just started reading these verses in the Bible, and it talks about having those that have multiple counsels or advisors are those that succeed. So I started thinking about, okay, who are my mentors? Who can I reach out at 5 o'clock in the morning that I know are up?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I fought.
You can call your mom.
That. Yeah.
You can call your mom at 4 o'clock in the morning. She'll be up.
Yeah, she definitely. That's for another podcast. But I pulled myself out of it.
Yeah.
And I got up, I got dressed, and I started my day. And I got 3 connections that day. Like, from that one luncheon, it opened up so many doors.
Yeah. So if you would have hung out and watched TV and got the ice cream and just kind of called it a day, like I'll just pick it up tomorrow, then you would have missed out. Yeah. You would have missed out on that day. And you had a really, really good productive day.
Yes. And I even went to the gym that day.
Yeah.
And then anyways, a couple days after that, we ended up getting that agreement with the title company.
Yeah.
Because on Monday morning, I sent her an email to follow up.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I read my journal and I'm like, oh my God, like you are so...
It's been a thing that you've done over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Real quick, before we get any further into the podcast, I wanted to talk about, for you guys that are watching on YouTube, in the description for YouTube, I'm going to put all the links to the podcast and anything that we talk about on the podcast. Like if we mention a video or whatever, I'll put links to that in the YouTube description, and also on the Facebook group, on the Facebook page, I'll put all the links to everything on there. So
very cool.
So if you can't watch the entire video, because I know they're long, and most people don't watch a whole hour or however long the podcast is, but you could just click one of the links on YouTube, and it'll take you right to the app where you can listen to it in your car or wherever.
Yes.
So cool.
So
speaking of Facebook and posting and all the stuff that we've been doing, we've been kind of noticing a little bit of a conspiracy on Facebook. I don't know. Something's going on, but you know where? I don't know if maybe I'm in my head about this stuff, but you noticed it too. But you noticed it too.
My words.
No, because I listened to a podcast, I don't know, maybe a month ago or whatever, and they were talking, it was a Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about one of his friends. His name's Alex Jones, and he's a political guy. He says some crazy shit. And Facebook does not like this guy. And I don't know if it's true or not, but Joe Rogan was saying that if you type in anything about Alex Jones on Facebook, like in your post, Facebook through their algorithm know that you're typing Alex Jones, and they'll block your post. And it'll say that this post is only visible to you, that nobody else is going to see this post. So we've been posting stuff, obviously promoting the podcast, and we've noticed that when we post something, certain things get a lot more attention than other things. Like if it's just a picture of us hanging out, you know, it may get a bunch of likes. But if it's something about hey, check out our last episode, 0 likes or 1 like.
Which is him liking my post.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, I love it. Great podcast. But one thing that is usually really close to our post is an ad saying, would you like to boost your post for $30? Like this will go out to like, 20,000 people for and it's like they want you to advertise. So I don't know if I don't know if it's a thing or not, but it seems like, I don't know, they're maybe hiding our stuff, or it's not getting out to as many people as we would like to unless you pay for it. But another thing, one of the guys from Jiu-Jitsu wanted me to share the equipment, all the stuff that we bought to get the podcast started, because he was thinking about starting a podcast. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll get you a link to all the stuff that we bought. And I looked him up on Facebook, and I sent him a message. And Facebook blocked my message.
He got blocked.
Dude,
and
I'm like, oh, it was an Amazon link to the microphones and the boom and all this other stuff. And I just sent it to him, and it said, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said pretty much your message is blocked. So I sent him another message like, hey, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's the link, but hit me up, send me an email, and I'll get you a list of all the stuff. And it said, that message is blocked, and you can't message for the next 24 hours. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. And because I noticed a discrepancy, like I called up one of my friends, and I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor? Go onto Facebook and look to see if my post, I just advertised our podcast. Can you see it on your wall? And she said, no. I said, okay, do me a favor. Go onto my personal page and see if you see it. And she said, yes. So I'm like, what in the world? So
yeah, it's weird.
Needless to say, like if you see the post, and that's why we started sending to you guys the YouTube video directly through Messenger.
Yeah. And thank you for those of you that have watch the video or even just, click the link or whatever. Thanks everybody for your support.
Yeah. Yeah. And so anyways, if you happen to know a little something about all the, how that works with Facebook, please, let us know.
And everybody knows, like, there's been some stuff that's happened with Facebook that's kind of weird. When the elections happened, they were messing with stuff. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're up to something. Unless Facebook wants to like just blast our stuff to everybody, that'd be great. We wouldn't mind that at all. But yeah, I don't know. Something's up.
Yeah. So anyways, why don't you share with us your high point for the week? Yeah.
So I got a certificate with ASU this week. I got a Six Sigma green belt.
What? So you're going to kick some butt now? You got a green belt?
It's not that kind of belt. It's not that kind of belt. I still can't beat anybody up. But no, it was cool. We had a little graduation at work, and now it's on to the next class. So they have
what's the next belt?
It goes. I don't think there's a belt before it. They might have white or yellow, which is just like introductory. But I got the green belt, and then next is the black belt.
So what is this for? Like, I mean,
it's like a quality program management course.
So is this something you have to take?
No.
At Boeing?
No, it's something that they offered at Boeing. And one of the guys let me know that they had this program and that we could sign up for. Like, they teach it at work. And I was like, yeah, might as well. I mean, that's something that I've always done. I look out for something that's going to set me apart from everybody else.
Right.
So, I just saw the opportunity. I'm like, I mean, it's convenient. Like, it's at work.
And so that's why you do good with your reviews, though. Because that's your reviews, your yearly reviews, your annual reviews.
Yeah. So the next class starts in August for the black belt. And we had a good team my last class. And we're going to stick together and do the black belt class.
Very cool. Proud of you.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thanks, babe.
So, yeah. So even though I had a crazy week, we had a lot of accomplishments. You know? me getting that one title company, which is a huge title company.
So now,
I mean, I was in tears. I was so excited.
No, so now your company, Trust Inc., is the company that title company is going to use when they look for notaries.
Right. Well, I am on
done.
their preferred list. So now I have to go and do some marketing and build some relationships with the escrow officers. But I am on their preferred list, which is huge because they are in, I don't know how many states, but it's a pretty big title company.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, now it's time to get to work. Now it's time to, send some letters out, some emails, especially to those that are out of state. But I'm going to focus on right now working with the ones that are in state so that we could get them to use us.
Nice.
So that's what I'm going to be doing for the summer. Speaking of summer,
the kids are out.
on break.
And I'm sure you guys know that.
I know, right? Some of the moms are like blessing themselves like, oh, what am I going to do?
I know. They're trying to figure it out.
No, because it's tough. It really is, especially when you're set in a routine, just like me.
Yeah.
It
just throws off the whole routine.
Change, and now you have to figure out what you're going to do, the hours you're going to work, working with them, helping them with reading. I don't want to just stop their education. I want to continue to help them while I'm home because I want to take the summer off since we have Trust Inc. and I could just, be the dispatcher and filled out the what? Yeah, like take the calls.
Oh, yeah.
Farm out the work.
You're trying to dispatch me and send me somewhere. Like, what the hell?
But I'm excited for the summer to be able to spend that time with them and
that's good.
Be in the pool and all that stuff. And I know some moms, I actually offered a few of Joey's friends, their moms work. And I'm like, hey, I'm taking some time off. So you're more than welcome to drop the kids off here.
That's cool.
Because it could be stressful for women. It is stressful for women.
Yeah. And we got, next month, we got Michaela coming, which is my oldest daughter. And she might be listening or watching. Hi, Michaela. We love you. But she's going to be coming in about a month to hang out with us for a few weeks.
And your mom.
And my mom.
I'm so excited.
And my godmother. So, and then we're supposed to be going down to Mexico. Mm-hmm. Maybe we run into the landscaper. It's okay.
I ran into him a couple of days ago.
So yeah, we got some things coming up. So that'll be fun.
So here's something funny.
What's that?
We were kidless this weekend.
Yeah. That was Friday night.
Yep.
So Audrey went and had a sleepover with her friend, and we took Joey to your mom's house.
Yep.
And he spent the night there. So obviously, it's time for us to kind of party, have a good time.
I'm just like,
that's what
I want to go dancing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get dressed up. I want to go dancing because we have a great time when we go out. Like, we dance. We just have a really good time, even if it's just us.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, we haven't been dancing for a while. Let's do this. So we both get dressed up and we're going to a bar out here in Chandler, Arizona. And so I put a post on Facebook with me looking all cute. Got tons of reviews, right? Like, people have fun because it's hard for us. We don't have all the support in the world.
So
my
we saw
mom,
an opportunity.
Thank you. Yep, we got the opportunity, and we decided we're going out.
We're going to have a good time.
Yeah, but we were going to go eat first. So we go to the same place, because it turns into a club afterwards. So we go and we eat some really good food. And for some reason, I didn't feel like drinking. I had one drink. Yeah. You had a shot because you didn't even feel like drinking. But you couldn't make up your mind. Right. I just didn't know what I wanted. And then I realized, I didn't feel like drinking.
Yeah.
So from there on, I just saw, I started getting mellowed out and just, ugh.
I was like, what's up? What are we doing?
I know. Looking all cute.
We're looking at each other and we're like, are we going home right now?
I'm like, you know what? Let's go to Fry's and make it a BJ night.
All right. Well, you got to explain
Jerry's,
that.
People. Come on. Ben and Jerry's.
So we stopped at Fry's, got a bunch of ice cream.
How pathetic is that?
And we put on Step Brothers and fell asleep on the couch.
Yes.
Nice.
That's so
real nice.
Lame.
And that's not the first time we've done it either. Not. There was another time, but this was years ago, where it was the same thing. Yeah. Like,
No, we had pizza
kids.
instead of beet.
Yeah, we had no kids, and we're like, yeah, let's go out. And then before you know it, we're just eating pizza on the couch and hanging out, falling asleep.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that day we fell asleep early.
Yeah.
Like, we really did nothing. Like, we ate the pizza and fell right to sleep.
But we do need to go dancing.
Yeah, well, we had the opportunity, and we lost
so next time, no eating, because you already know how I am.
Okay.
Like, I rather drink
we got to get the
dinner.
party started at the house.
Yeah, like, I can't eat, because once
There we
I
go.
eat, I'm done. I'm just, like, ready to go Mimi's.
Hey, this is a known thing. It's called pre-gaming. You got to pre-game before you go out. If you're trying to go out and eat, yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
That's why you said nothing. Because
No.
you knew after I get
just
food
thought
in
about
that
it right
girl's
now.
belly, you're
I
like,
just thought about
once
it
I
right
get
now.
food in that girl's belly, we ain't
No.
going dancing.
Yeah.
I'm taking her home.
We're going to go right to sleep.
Oh, we didn't go right to sleep, but yeah.
So
It was a great night.
it was fun.
It was.
So earlier this week, I also went to jiu-jitsu. And I got hurt. Well, I hurt myself. It's the weirdest thing. I ended up, so last week on Friday, I was rolling with somebody and I went to go do this move, but pretty much my hips were turned one way and I went to turn my body the other way and I felt my rib pop. Now, this isn't the first time that my ribs popped, but I felt it pop. It didn't really hurt. And then the weekend.
First time it didn't hurt, you mean?
Yeah, the first time on Friday.
Okay.
Friday.
Okay.
And when I was doing this move and it pops and it didn't really hurt, but I knew that something was up because this has happened to me like 6 months ago, right? When I first started jiu-jitsu. And so the weekend comes and goes and it's feeling fine. Monday, we didn't go. And then on Tuesday, we go to class. And I'm helping with the kids and I'm teaching one of the brand new kids.
So hold up.
What's up?
You're actually teaching the kids class?
No, I am not teaching the kids class. I help.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're helping.
You wouldn't want me teaching the kids class.
So you're helping the
yeah.
kids class.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
helping. I
And
just
go
help
ahead.
wherever I can.
Oh, what happened?
So I'm showing one of the kids what to do. When you get taken down, it's kind of like to brace yourself so that you don't slam your head if somebody, takes you down.
So it's a break fall. You're doing.
It's called a break fall, yeah.
Okay.
So I go to do this move, and I tell the little girl, I'm like, do it just like this. And when I hit the mat, so you hit on your butt, and then you kind of roll to your back. So when I hit my butt and rolled to my back, I felt like I had been shot.
What?
Like my rib just went boom. It just exploded. And I couldn't breathe. Like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. I was just like...
You couldn't breathe?
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I got a pain in my chest. I can't breathe.
Oh, man. It was so bad. So, so that happened. I walked off the mat. I don't even remember what I said to the little girl. Like, I think I tried to keep it together and tell her, okay, do it like that.
She's like, I am not doing that.
And then I walked off.
Way.
So then we had one of the guys at the gym is a doctor. So he kind of felt my rib and he's like, yeah, it's dislocated. And I'm like, shit, man. But now it's getting better. But one thing is with the kids, like they have a tournament coming up.
Right.
And last time that my rib got hurt, like I would still go to class.
Yeah.
And even though I can't do the moves, I would watch and do my best. Well, I would watch and pay attention and just like watch people while they're doing the move. And I don't know, just doing the best I can, even though I can't really roll.
Right. Well, that's part of
or
leadership.
drill or practice. Yeah. Like I can't do it right now, because it's different when you're hurt and injured is two different things.
Right.
If you're hurt, you can push through that. But man, when you have something like this, there's not much you can do until it heals up. But the kids are like, why are you going to, well, even you're like, why are you going to go to class?
I was like, totally. Yeah.
But I want the kids to see, like, it's important. Like, it's important to me. Like, I like doing jujitsu and it's important to me. And even though I can't do it, I might still learn something, So there was another situation when I was in high school when I used to play football where I started school. When I transferred schools, I started school like 3 months late. And the school said that I wasn't allowed to play football or I wasn't allowed to play in any football games until I was in school the same amount of time that I was out of school. So that's 6 months into the school year, right? And I would show up every day and practice.
Wow.
And we would go to the games and I would have my jersey on, no pads, no nothing, just standing on the sideline because I wasn't allowed to play in any games. But I love playing football. Like, you know that.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the thing. It meant the most to me when I was a kid. I wish I would have played all through high school. My school in New York didn't have it, but I loved it. So even though I couldn't play in the games, I still went to practice every day. I showed up. I did the best I could. And I would stand on the sidelines during the games.
And that's why I want to choke him out sometimes.
Whatever.
No, because you have that and I want that. And so you have that where you push yourself to exceed, to do the thing that, you don't have to do, but you do it anyway. Yeah. And you lead by example. And I have that. But when it comes to like being in my head like that day, it was so easy just to turn the switch off. But when I'm married to a man like you, I want to be better. You know what I'm saying? I want to do better. So you help me to be that person, you know?
Yeah. So I don't know. But you know what the messed up thing was in high school? If there was one more week of school, or if not of school, of the football season, if there was one more week of the football season, or we had made it into the playoffs, I would have been able to play in that one game. The season ended, and I did not play one game the whole year.
Wow.
But, I was like, I don't care. I love it. I'll practice. I'll put on my pads and practice and help my team out. I mean, that's the way I saw it. I was like one of the best people on the B squad because the B squad plays against the starters.
Yeah.
And, I had a good time. Yeah. But, I just wanted to show the kids, like, if it's important to you, you'll figure it out. Like, you don't just give up.
Yep.
You do the best you can.
So the whole message here is to lead by example no matter what, because your kids are always watching you.
Yeah.
So last week I received a call from our old neighbor, and I'm not going to say his name, but I realized that people are nervous about talking to us.
Oh, that old neighbor. Okay. Yeah.
They're nervous about talking to us because they know we're doing this podcast. So I was talking to him. I'm like, hey, what's up? We were talking. He was telling me some things, and I'm like, why are you just telling me this now? He's like, you're doing a podcast. He's like, I don't want to be known as the neighbor on your podcast. And then I have another friend who calls me, and she's talking to me about some things that are going on. And she's like, wait, hey, do me a favor. Don't say anything on your podcast.
Oh my God.
It's like they're giving me this disclaimer,
Wait, before I tell you something, don't put it on your podcast. Yeah.
People are not answering my calls anymore. I'm like, what's going on? I have no more friends.
That's funny. Actually, if you guys want to ask us a question, or and you don't want to do it in public on Facebook or wherever, you can send us an email, oppositepod@gmail.com, and you can put in there
name.
or just send us
block your number,
or send us a direct message, and just say that it's a question for the podcast. Don't mention my name.
Yeah. Anonymous.
No big deal. But that's funny.
We got some really good questions though.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So we'll be excited to go over that. So last week, we had mentioned on our podcast about giving and, just being there to give back to others, like charity and, volunteering your time and all that good stuff. And so I have to bring this up because I thought it was super funny. But last week we went to Walmart and we were checking out.
Yeah.
And our cashier asked us if we would like to donate to charity to stop hunger.
What?
And guess who shows up?
You want money for what? What happened?
Sir, would you like to donate to stop hunger?
What happened? The people, they're hungry?
They're
less
fortunate. They need food. They need money, donations.
They're hungry, it's okay. If they're hungry, it's okay, no problem. I was hungry. I'm hungry right now.
So you'll like to donate, sir?
No, señora. 1 second. I was hungry in Mexico. I was hungry all the time. But now, because I was hungry, I got 5 businesses.
Great. So you have money to donate?
I got 5 businesses because I was hungry. They can get a business too. It's okay. I got it with my business. I got it the landscaping. I got the landscaping business where I got the wife. She's in the tree, chop it down the tree. And we got the business for the landscaping. Great. I got the construction business. I got it fixing the drywall. I got the drywall for you. You got a drywall problem? I fix it for you. No problem. I got the businesses because I was hungry.
So you have lots of money. Well,
I got it. I also got it. My wife in the parking lot in the Walmart selling the tamales. Hey, excuse me. You want some tamales? You want tamales in the parking lot because we's hungry. We gotta make it the money to do that. To get it the money. We also got it the brincas.
Oh, what?
Brinca. The bouncy houses. And when you got it the party, we got it the chairs and the tables for you for rent.
So you share the tables?
No, we don't share the tables. We got it the chairs. We got it the chairs. That's what I say. The chairs and the tables. When you have at a party, we got it the chairs and the tables for you. You rent, no problem. And then I got it my bicycle with the little bell. And we got it the elote.
Okay.
Elote, the corn with the mayonnaise and the cheese. And we sell it for you. We got a lot of business because I'm hungry. They got a business. They can got a business too. No problem. So you're hungry? That's a good thing.
And so there you go.
That's good. You're not hungry. You not got business.
Oh, man.
So
we can't keep him tucked away anywhere because he comes out
he
when
he pops up.
Expects it.
So I got it.
The poor lady was so confused.
She's like, "What the fuck?
What? You what?" Oh no!
I'm hungry
that
too.
Was hilarious. Yeah.
So yeah, we also. I think Betty, one of our friends, also had a question, right?
Oh yes. So one of our listeners.
What's that? So she was asking
for a friend.
For a friend. She said, "What if you have a friend that has a problem?"
Yeah, getting it up, right? So
okay.
Betty's a really good friend, and she's always willing to help others. And so, anyway, she can help her friends.
I'm so sorry for your problem, but I got something for you. All you gotta do is you gotta go down to Mexico.
So I have to go to Mexico.
You gotta go to Mexico. You go to Rocky Point, or you go to the Algodones, or one of the. You go to Mexico, and you go to the farmacia.
The what?
The farmacia, the pharmacy.
Oh, the pharmacy.
Yes, and you get it you get the blue pill.
The blue pill.
And then you got it, no more problem.
Like the Matrix,
you don't need
the blue pill.
Yeah, not so much. But you got it the blue pill. You don't need a prescription. A prescription.
Oh what?
Oh what? I said you don't need the prescription.
Prescription.
Like from your doctor.
Oh, okay.
No prescription. You get it the blue pill. And then, no more problem.
Up the butt?
You take it a blue pill. No more problem. You can go to sleep. You don't fall from the bed. No problem. That's it.
That's it.
I got something for everybody.
Please share with your friends. Mexico blue pill. No problem.
No problem.
No problem.
Yep.
So we had another listener by the name of Stevens who would like to know, what would you do if you were president instead of Trump?
Okay. That's a good question.
I would like to ask you a few questions for the next election.
Okay. So like I got the next president.
Yes.
President Miguel the Landscaper.
The Mexican motivational landscaper.
It's okay. Everybody vote for me. No problem.
So our first question. Are you ready?
Okay. I got it.
What would you do to improve healthcare?
Okay. Healthcare, that's a very important question. Everybody got a question. Healthcare. They got it the Obamacare. They got it the whatever care. Whatever for your mama. I don't care. I got it the healthcare too.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
This is what I got it for you. You get it every American is gonna get it the Biggs Vaporub.
Wait.
Biggs Vaporub. They're the best healthcare. Everybody got it the health. Nobody got it the healthcare like I got it the healthcare. Believe me.
Vicks
That's what I say.
is your
Vicks,
solution.
Vapor up. You get it in a jar, and you take it. You put it on your chest. You put it you put it up your nose and your mouth and your feet, and you put a sock on top.
You
Vicks,
put a sock.
You get it. Vicks Vapor up fix for everything. My mama put it on my chest, put it in my nose, put it everywhere. No more problem. No problem. And then you also get it the 7-Up. You get a stomach ache.
7-Up.
You get it the stomach ache, and you take it a 7-Up, and then you burp it, everything. No problem.
So you drink 7-Up.
So you take it the Vicks Vapor, you put it on your chest, put it in your nose, and then you take it the 7-Up. No more problem.
And that's your solution for healthcare.
Everybody knows. I get it the best healthcare. Believe me. Nobody got a healthcare like I got it the healthcare.
So there you hear it.
That's it. That's the best. Vicks and 7-Up. It fix everything. Everything.
Okay. So now, next question. Let's talk about jobs. How are you going to create employment for the Americans?
You know what? I already talking the lady in the Walmart. I got a job for everybody.
You got what?
I got the job for everybody. I got the landscaping. I got the elote on the corn on the bicycle.
Elote.
The corn with the mayonnaise and the cheese. I got the elote for you. I got the bouncy house, the brinca-brincas.
Okay.
Right? The brinca-brinca, the bouncy house with the chairs and the tables.
With the what?
The chairs.
You're going to share.
No, I already tell. The chairs. That you rent and the tables.
That's right.
Then we got my wife in the parking lot selling the tamales. We got a lot of jobs. You come, you work with me. I got jobs for every American. No problem.
So that's your solution.
Yeah.
All the Americans are going to come work for you.
I got the biggest bouncy house business in Phoenix.
Okay. So that's perfect for my next question. Because if you own all those businesses, you must be making a lot of money.
Oh, it's okay. I got a little bit of money, and it's okay. No problem.
So everyone wanted Trump, our current president,
yes, I know,
to provide his taxes.
I know, Donald.
And they wanted Obama to provide his birth certificates.
Yes, no problem.
And so, are you even legal?
Mira, I got it whatever you want. You wanted my tax return, I give you tax return. When Trump give you the tax return, I give you the tax return. When Obama give you the birth certificate, I got it my birth certificate too. It's no problem.
Okay.
So maybe for next election, 2020, Miguel the Landscaper.
There you go.
America, I fix it for you. No problem.
God bless America.
Oh my God. And that's why Facebook has censored.
This is hilarious. Okay. So now on to something a little more serious.
What are you talking about? This is serious. We're talking about healthcare. We're talking about the important issues in this country. All right.
So a friend of mine, Nanette, had a question, and she just asked, "How do you resolve an argument when you both are upset, and how do you figure it out?"
Yeah.
And so when you have more good times than bad times, you tend to forget about the bad times.
The rough spots.
Yes. Yeah. And when that question came up, we were talking about it. And
we've been talking about it all week.
Yeah. Because we were a bit stumped. I know that sounds just ridiculous.
Because everything is so perfect.
Oh my God. So guess what I did? I started going through
your journal.
My journal.
And then she got mad at me all over again.
And in 2012, we were hitting a very hard time, a hard point in our relationship. In one of the journals, I was talking about divorce and it was just, we
don't even remember those days.
No, honestly, I didn't. But then when I started reading my journal, I started recognizing the things that we were going through and things that we had to grow through. I mean, back then, there was no talking. I mean, you would get pissed off, upset. I wanted to resolve the situation.
Like now.
And he was a hothead. So, I mean, one of the, the entries, you were just like pissed off, and I left. Like, I left the house. I was gone. Didn't say anything, and I was gone. And so know that things weren't always the way they are today. We went through some crap. I mean, we did. I was reading these journals, and so we were not paying attention, not listening, not communicating. We were very short. There was no...
We resented each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I started, and it's crazy because the last entry from all that messiness, I said, something's great is about to happen. Yeah. And I hope that my family doesn't fall apart because of it. And that's when I began my spiritual journey.
Yeah.
I needed answers. And I started praying. I started going to church. And I realized that I couldn't change you. Like, I had to change me. There were some things that I need to work on. There were some things that I needed to focus on.
Yeah.
And so I had to take a hard look in the mirror. And in the Bible, it states, and I mentioned this before, I think, that wives have to submit to their husband, that the husband is head of household. And God is love.
I agree with that.
And God is love. And how can someone be angry or upset with you when you are showing them love? Not just talking, but you're actually showing them love.
Yeah.
So I started to dig deep within and focused more on me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I started asking other people that were married way longer than us about what they did. So I started searching. Mm-hmm. And I know that during that time, you started recognizing some things.
I did. Yeah, at the same time. And I don't know if it was, I don't know, luck or a blessing or what. Luck. But it seemed like it happened at the same time. But I don't know. I kind of think about, like, what if I didn't realize at that moment? Then what could have happened? But what I did realize then was I was being a shithead, pretty much. Like, I had everything that I wanted. You know, we mentioned, I think, on the second podcast, you know, how we grew up. And I mentioned, like, what I wanted. Like, I wanted that perfect family. And, like, eventually, like, I was working a lot, and I would come home. And I don't know if you were working at the time or not, but I was kind of like, I come home, I work, and you take care of the house, right? And, like, this is my job, that's your job, and when I get home, I drink beer and play video games. Right.
And during that time, not only did we have our kids, we had my sister's 3 teenagers as well.
Yeah. And I realized, I'm like, I have everything that I wanted when I was a kid, I have it now. And I'm fucking it up. Like, I'm really messing this thing up. Like, I might lose it. I might lose it all. And I realized that I had been wasting a lot of time because I was a dad. The kids were getting bigger. We had been married for a few years.
Yeah, this was, I think, 2012.
And
we got married in 2008. So.
Yeah. And I had been wasting a lot of time just doing dumb shit. That doesn't matter. That's not important. And that's, I think, right around the same time is when I decided, like, you know, like I talked about on the other podcast, that I need to put more effort into the kids, into our relationship, into our family, because this is what I've been asking for. This is what I wanted, you know?
And so know that.
And I think part of it, it's one of those things where, like, you felt it, I felt it, mm-hmm. And it's kind of, you know, when you're selling, It's like the fear of loss. It's almost like that fear of loss. Like you realize you're like, holy shit, like this could all be gone. Like you were writing about it in your journal.
Which he never...
I didn't know that.
Never
No.
read it. He
I've
never even
read
heard
your
about
journal.
it until a few days ago when I found it.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's crazy to go back and read it and have you get mad all over again.
I did not. But listen, see, we didn't share these things on Facebook. We didn't share these things on social media. So
back then, to Nanette's question, like back then, we didn't really figure things out. We would just be angry.
No.
Like you would want to talk to me right then. I didn't want to talk, so you would just piss me off more.
Yeah, it was
and then
not
it would just
good.
blow up, and then we would just kind of, whatever. But I think over the years, we've both learned how to deal with each other,
how to love each other,
and I think it goes both ways because there's times when you don't want to talk right then,
right?
And I'll ask you, I'm like, hey, what's up? Mm-hmm. What's up? What's going on? And you're like, nothing. And I'll ask you a couple times, but eventually I'm like, all right, well, she's not ready to talk.
Right.
But we do get to it. And even back then, even if we did blow up, even though it may not have been the best way to communicate, we still did.
Right. It took a few days, but we resolved it.
Where now it doesn't take as long.
Right. And it's because we've learned, like, we put time into our relationship, you know, with everything from sex to communication. I mean, all of it, parenting, business. Now we can sit and we can talk and we can respect each other, love each other, listen to each other. But I mean, just today, I mean, it wasn't a disagreement. I just was more quiet. I don't know. I just needed me time today. Yeah. And I think you knew because you gave me my me time. I
was just like, well, you seem like you're in a funk or something's going on.
He said I was all up in my head, and I was, but it was just
so
me.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the kids. We're going to jiu-jitsu for a while, and we'll practice a little bit and come home in an hour and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
Just kind of give you some space to do what you got to do.
And that's it. Like sometimes we need that space. We need to get our thoughts and just have some me time because life is crazy. Like it comes at you every which way. And if you don't have an outlet, you will explode. You need to figure out what your outlet is, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's just taking quiet time, whether it's taking a swim, whatever that may be. You have to find out what's going to help you to reconnect and gather your thoughts together, calm down, and come back to where you can talk to each other, be respectful, be loving, and always put the other person first. Yeah. Like I've not always have put you first, but I've learned to put you first.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. Like, and you do the same.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just really figuring out what love language your other partner needs. And so there's a book called The 5 Love Languages.
Yeah.
And figuring out what your love language is and his love language. But at the same time, he has to be open to read the book or to listen to the book and to work on your relationship. Because if I only wanted to work, if I wanted to work on the relationship, but you were like, I'm not reading that damn book. I'm not reading that book.
Yeah.
There's no way we would be where we are
Sometimes
today.
It's just too much pride or ego or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've, even when we were in our shittiest places, we've always been kind of trying to get better. So I think eventually it's not luck. It was just that we hadn't grown enough.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and it's part of the experience, I guess. But it's crazy when you look back, like you don't remember those days. You don't. Really. Mm-mm. I mean, we look back and it's probably part of having more good days than bad days. But what it reminded me of also is like Facebook. Like you mentioned, like we weren't posting that stuff on Facebook. No. Like, oh, my wife's being a bitch or my husband's being an asshole or whatever. You know, people don't put that shit up.
No.
And that's why, like, if you go around, and everybody knows this, but somehow it still affects people. When you're looking at somebody's Facebook or their Instagram and it looks like it's all good, but it's not always all good.
No.
We have disagreements, arguments, or whatever.
Right.
But but people don't put that stuff
No.
out to everybody. So don't take the Facebook,
Right.
Don't go to Facebook when stuff's not going right, because it's not going to make it better.
And you know what's so crazy? On Monday, I did put a post
That's
up
right, yeah.
because I want people to know that I am real. Like, I am going to put the things that are challenging. I'm going to put the good days. I'm going to put the bad days and the mediocre days, because I need you guys to know that you can do it. Like, you can be real.
Yeah.
And express yourself. But the posts up there, people thought that I had copied it. Like, people didn't know that this was actually happening.
Yeah.
And one of my friends is like, hey, can I repost? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But that was what I was going through.
And also
on Monday.
To this question, one of the previous podcasts, I talked about that monk, Gaur Gopal Das, and like Gaur. I think his name's Gaur. I don't know how the hell to say his name. Anyway, Gaur. You look him up. GaurGopal. But he had that video, and in the last podcast I mentioned it, where he was saying, like, saying you're sorry doesn't always mean that you're wrong. It means that you value the other person more than being right. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's part of it. Another thing, I don't know if you want
on that. Sometimes forgiving someone is not about you, but about the other person.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that the hard way.
And another thing is, I remember reading in this book, I can't remember which one, but it pretty much was saying, like, to pick your battles. Like, there's certain things that, like, let's say we're having a situation that it's going to come up constantly, right? It's something that's going to keep coming up. So that is something that, okay, maybe we have to get down to the bottom of it. But maybe I do something or you do something, and it's just this one situation, right? Mm-hmm. So why even say anything? Like, right. Yeah, it bothered me or it bothered you. But if it's never coming up again, just leave it alone. Who cares? Just let it slide and, move on. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's kind of a pick. I can't remember what book it was.
So know when to pick your battles.
Yeah. Yeah. And I need to work on that. I got to work on all this stuff. I guess we all do.
Yeah, we
right?
both do.
Do you want that?
So, I already talked about it, but I'll read it for you.
From
the post.
The post when you weren't.
I was
you
going
were kind
bananas.
Of in a funk. With
I was
work
in a huge
and all
funk. Like, words kind of explain what I was feeling right now, or feeling then. But it says, this morning I felt like quitting. This morning I felt unsure of myself. This morning I was about to give up, curl up, and close my door to numb my thoughts with TV and carbs until I read the book of life that gave me these verses. And so I just list some of the verses that I was reading in the Bible. And the last one says, let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. And so my thoughts were getting the best of me that day, and I realized it. So I took the advice from the book of life and I ran with it, and I kept my day. But on here, I took the advice, prayed, and called a friend who helped me get back on track. Today, I faced a huge challenge in my life, and I conquered it. Not only did I gain 3 new contacts, I made it to the gym. Today was a good day. And what's so crazy that
that's good.
If you keep a journal, was that the first time did you not like my post?
No, I did. I'm just saying that it was good that your day went from a most likely a shitty day,
yes,
where you would have done nothing, an unproductive day,
right,
to having a really good day.
Yeah.
And that's probably the case with most days. You know what? It kind of reminds me of jiu-jitsu. Like there was a day I remember that I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't feel like going, and I went anyway. And we started drilling, doing our thing, and then we started rolling. And it was like the one day when I was like brand new that things started kind of coming together. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try this and I'm going to try that. And by the time we were done with class and we were done rolling, I did like 3 or 4 rolls. I was like,
good.
Holy shit, man. Today was a great,
yes.
like, I made some progress today. I mean, minor progress, but to me, it was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
And if I didn't go that day, I wouldn't have done it.
You got to do it. You gotta just do the deal. You gotta conquer and move
Yeah.
forward and fight the feeling of fear, lack of success, or whatever it may be. And you need to start journaling. I can tell you that journaling will help you. And I swear, if you were to read my journal, you would think I was bipolar. I swear. I was reading it. I'm like, holy shit, I have good days, bad
teardrops
days.
on
I'm
one
like,
page.
one morning, I'm like ready to die and curl up. And then after the day, because I'll journal twice a day, I'm all happy, excited. And today was a good day. I'm like, girl, you're bipolar.
That's funny.
So we all go through it. You are not alone. You are not alone. You're human.
So yeah, definitely. Thank you, Nanette, for that question.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, we had I showed you this video before the podcast started. Mm-hmm. It's a video that came out, I don't know, like a week and a half ago. And it was about this mom in LA that had to deal with some bullies, or some kids in her class some kids in her daughter's class were bullying her daughter.
Yes.
And I guess the mom had had enough of it. And she went to the school, got in front of the class. I don't know how she got in the school or how she ended up getting to the front of the class, but she did. And she pretty much told all the kids in the class, like, you don't leave my daughter alone, I'm going to whoop your ass. And she actually made these like vouchers. She made like tickets that said free ass whoopings. Must be 18 to redeem. And she was like, here, pick one up. And she's like, pretty much she was like, if you mess with my daughter, I'm going to kick your ass. And if you're not old enough, she was going to find somebody in your family, whether it's your older sister, your mom, somebody, I'm going to kick their ass. But the weird thing is that while we were watching it, like, you noticed it too, and I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to you because I noticed it when I watched the video. But the news, I think it was CBS, like, they were worried about how the mom got into the school. Like, oh, how did she get into the school? Who let her in? And how did she get to the front of the class? And how come nobody called security? And which, I mean, I guess are all valid questions, but they didn't not once talk about her daughter being bullied.
Right.
Not once.
No. Ugh. Which got me upset.
I was upset. It pisses you off.
It does, because...
like, that's an issue.
Yeah. We talk about the suicide rates and how these kids are feeling. And
they barely even... They said that, like, when some kid is bullied, that they have a policy, and that was pretty much the end of it. But the rest of the segment was all about, how did she get in? How did she pass security? How come nobody called? It's like, how about you focus on... the shitheads that are in school that are bullying her daughter, that are driving her nuts. But at the same time, one thing that people have to understand is that you can have a bullying policy, but really, I mean, even the mom
that's not
can
being enforced.
No, what? I don't know. I don't know how they do it in that school, but the mom can go do what she does, and that might help. But really, when it comes to bullying, it has to kind of be taken care of by the kids. Mm-hmm. Like, the kids have to step up and do something.
Yeah.
And that's why when it comes to our kids, we've told them before, like, you learn this stuff in your jiu-jitsu class and you are not allowed to use this. If the only time you can use this is if somebody is coming after you, if they attack you. Like, if somebody's talking crap and they're calling you names or whatever, and you decide that you're going to choke them out or armbar them, guess what? You're going to be in some major trouble. But if they push you or they try to punch you, and then you choke them and then you both get in trouble. Because sometimes these schools, they have a policy where, like, if you defend yourself, you're both in trouble, which is fucking bullshit.
Yeah. And
I've told our kids, like, if this is what happened and all you're doing, you tell the kid, leave me alone. I don't want any problems. And they keep coming at you, and you have to defend yourself. When I pick you up from school, we're going out for ice cream. But if I find out that you started the fight or you didn't do everything that you could to avoid the fight, then we're going to have problems.
Yeah.
But I think with bullying, a lot of times it's got to be taken care of by the kids.
Yeah.
We were talking about this at work. And one of the things is, like, when you have friends, like, I remember I wasn't a big kid growing up and I would have issues, and I had a bunch of friends. I had a lot of friends, and sometimes having friends, kind of, it helped me get out of some jams. Like, somebody was trying to say something, do something. And I remember specifically one of my friends, Peter, he was a big dude. And I was telling him about something that was happening, and we were walking down the hallway and it was empty because it was during class. And the kid that I was having trouble with that I had just been telling him about happened to be walking down the hall. Mm-hmm. And me and Peter are walking, and this kid's walking down the other way. And he's like looking at me, giving me like this, mean mug or whatever. Yeah. And Peter notices the kid, and I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And Peter's like, "Hey, Mikey, is that the kid?" And I'm like, yeah, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, fuck that. Let's go." And Peter's a big dude. So we went back, and he's like, "What's up? You got a problem?" Like, and I was like, and nothing ever happened. But back, sometimes it's good to have some friends.
So moral of the story, have friends that are bigger than you. That's going to watch your back and kick some
butt. Or also, you put your kids in something where they can defend themselves. Yep. That'll also give them the confidence to know that you can't mess with me. You can't pick. You can try. And also when somebody talks, when all they do is talk, it doesn't really affect you as much.
Yeah, because
Because you know that if it comes down to it, I'm going to kick your ass.
Right.
So you can say what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's a...
Yep.
That's
and it also teaches them self-discipline as well. So.
Yeah, true. And they can be that friend for their friends.
I mean, I learned how to choke him out. Like,
nice.
anytime, it's like, yeah.
And they can be they can be that friend for their friends. Like when they have friends that can't defend themselves, they can help them out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So. For sure. So there we go. And I do apologize for sucking on my teeth. That's a habit that I'm working on.
It's all good. So tomorrow is Memorial Day.
Yes.
I know a lot of people have tomorrow off. And, happy Memorial Day to everybody. I know it's a big day for barbecuing. One thing that I think everybody should remember is the reason for Memorial Day. Mm-hmm. Memorial Day is a day when we remember all the people that had to sacrifice. We live in an incredible country. And there's a lot of people that sacrificed for us to have what we have now. There's a lot of people that would love to take this away from us. But because of people that gave everything, we have what we have now. So tomorrow, even if it's for, a few seconds, just take a second to think about those who sacrificed everything so that we can have what we have today and be safe.
Be safe.
So with that, we're getting down to the end of the podcast. This podcast is brought to you by TrustInkUSA.com. That's Trust Inc. That's INK, Trust INK USA.com. And you can talk about that.
We are a nationwide mobile notary. We do a lot of work with law firms, title company, escrow companies, and individuals as well. So it doesn't matter what type of document you need notarized. We have an agent in your state that will help you. We also are independent associates with Legal Shield. And what Legal Shield does, it gives you access to attorneys at the palm of your hand in your state.
Last time I mentioned that the attorneys were going to help us out with an issue. So they're in the process of writing that letter. So maybe when they send us the letter, I can read it so you guys can hear what a letter from our attorney sounds like. Cool. So yeah, that's great. So if you guys can also share the podcast with those that you know, we would definitely appreciate that because that's how the podcast grows.
So what you want to do is you want to share it, you want to like it, and you want to respond. Even if it's just a smiley face or good job, you suck.
Yeah, you can put those up and we'll delete them.
Comments. So there you go. Like it, respond, and share.
Excellent. So
subscribe if it's on YouTube.
Yeah, or on whatever app that you have, you can subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, you're already listening to it now, so subscribe. We have our website, oppositesattractpod.com. That's going to take you to our Facebook page. We also have the page and the Facebook group that you can be a part of. Also, we have Twitter, Instagram, at OppositePod. And the podcast can be found pretty much everywhere. So I think that's it for the week. We appreciate you guys listening.
Stay tuned for next week.
Next week. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.